Hi everyone. So today we'll be learning the difference between permutations and combinations. So we'll just take some real life examples and we'll understand what a permutation means and what a combination means, so that when you'll get problems on permutations and combinations, it is like easy for you to spot whether you have to use permutations or combinations. So let's first understand what is a permutation. Now, we'll understand this with the help of an example. Suppose you went to the movies with your friends. So you have three friends, A, B, and C, and you went to the movies with them. Now, what happens is you have to choose some seats for you and your friends. Okay, so suppose this is you are A, and you went to a movie theater with your two friends B and C, and you have to choose seats which are next to each other. So, what are the possible combination of seats that you can choose? So, we can choose A, B, and C. This is the first case. Now, the second case in which you can choose your seats is C, A, and B, where you sit in the middle. And the third possible case will be B, C, and A, right? So, these are the three possible combinations of seats that you can choose for sitting with your friends. Now, all of these cases are different because this is different, and this is different. Because in the first case, you're sitting in the first place. In the second case, you're sitting in the second place, and in the third case you're sitting at the third place. Now these are different because who sits where matters, right? So whenever the order of the people or the order of things matter in any arrangement, we always use permutations. Okay, so you have to make sure, you have to find out whether the order or the arrangement of the things or the people or any other thing which is given in the question, if that order matters, then that is a case of permutation. Now let's take one more example. Suppose you have to put a password in your phone, right? So you have to put a password in your phone. Now your password should be a 4-digit code. So let's say your password should consist of the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, what you're going to do, what are the possible combinations that you can use for putting your password? So there will be multiple combinations. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be 1, 3, 4, 2. It can be 2, 1, 3, 4. It can be 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. So there can be number of possible combinations that you can use for putting as your password. Now even if the digits are same, when we are changing the order, we are creating a new password, because the password 1234 is not equals to the password 1342. So the order of the digits here matters. So this is a classic case of permutations. So whenever you spot a word problem and you have to decide whether you have to use permutations or not, you just have to check for the order. If the order or the arrangement of the things matter, in that case you have to use permutations. Okay, now let's take an example of combination. Now what is a combination and how is it different from permutations? Now let's take an example of some pizza toppings. So we all love pizzas. So let's take an example of pizza toppings. Now, what happens in pizza toppings? Suppose you have to decide which toppings you have to choose. Okay, now you have some set of toppings, such as, let's say, you have toppings cheese, you have corn, you have olives, and you have what say you have tomatoes, and you have onions. Okay, so from among these you have to choose three toppings. Suppose you have to choose three toppings from these list of toppings. Now what you have to find out, like, we have five toppings over here: cheese, corn, olives, tomatoes, and onions, and you have to choose three toppings from this. Now some set of toppings you are going to choose. Suppose you chose cheese, corn, and olives, right? So you have to choose three toppings and you chose cheese, corn, and olives. Now, whether you choose cheese, corn, and olives, or you choose corn, cheese, olives, or you choose olives, corn, and cheese, all of these three cases are the same because the order of these toppings do not matter. You just have to choose three toppings from amongst a list of five toppings. So suppose I chose cheese, corn, and olives. So the order of these toppings do not matter whether you whether you choose cheese in the first place, or you chose olives in the first place, or olives in the third place. So the order of the arrangement does not matter. So when there's a case when the order of the things that you are choosing does not matter. So, what we can say, when the order does not matter, we use combinations. Okay, so whenever you have to just make a list of choices, we use combinations. Okay, so I think you can understand the basic difference between permutation and combination is permutation is the arrangement or the arrangement of things in which we have to choose where the order of those things matters. And what happens in combination? Combination is just a selection. So this is just a selection of a few things where the order or the arrangement of those things do not matter. So whenever you are given with problems on permutations and combinations, you have to make sure first you have to spot whether you have to use permutations and combinations, and then you can use the respective formulas to find out your answer. So a lot of students face problems in choosing, in spotting whether you have to use combinations or you have to use permutations in the problem. So I think now you'll be able to do that properly. Now, Math Simplified is also running a lot of free webinars on various topics. So if you have any doubts or if you want to reach out in any of the topics, you can ask us and we'll be happy to help you. Have a nice day. We'll meet again. Bye bye.